Welcome everybody to I don't like that.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Reel it in.
Roll it in. All right. Block it up.
Fuck it. Fuck it. We're doing it live.
Fuck it. I'm doing it live. Welcome everybody to Got a Lot in Our Minds. This is episode 9. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Stevie B.
What's going on? I'm Kels. You know me.
Kels55
Yes, on everything, pretty much.
at Iconic Visions.
Yes, sir.
Iconic Visions the brand.
Hell yeah.
Iconic Visions the movement.
Hell yeah.
Kels 2020.
No.
No.
There's a lot of...
Okay.
That's too much pressure right now.
Okay, all right. You don't want that.
I
Kels
got
2024.
I got like fucking 3 weeks to get that train
I mean, hey.
moving.
If you run in 2024, you're probably going to be going against The Rock.
I cannot run in 2024. I'm not 35 yet, Dan.
Kels 2028.
There you go.
Hey, there it is.
I don't want to think about that year. It'll be way too close to 40.
Man, that's it. It's a wrap.
Life's over.
Is that what you do? You're like, you know what? I'm fucking at 40. And once I get to be pushing 50, fuck it, I'm just run for president. What else do I fucking got to do?
I mean, yeah, if you're in politics, that's kind of how you do.
Whatever.
If you're a reality TV star, yeah.
Hey, who wants to give me money so I can try to run for president so that I can have no idea what the fuck I'm doing?
No, he's a stable genius. I don't want to joke around because he's in hospital, but anyway, let's get on with it.
I'm Joe Biden? Question mark? I'm Joe Biden. How did I get here?
So I hear you went on a trip recently.
I did, yeah. We went to Lake George. Or we went to right outside of Lake George, about 40 minutes outside.
How was that?
It was good. It was nice. The place we stayed at an Airbnb. And it had no Wi-Fi. I had zero cell service, so like I was like really, really, really off the map. And but it was nice to like disconnect. You know what I mean?
Staying detached.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was refreshing. I needed it because I'm in my phone like all the time.
I know.
Probably too much.
You're in your phone all the time and you never text me back. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm never. Yeah, it's true. I'm not even gonna make an excuse. I just go. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It all happens to the best of us.
And but it was weird, man. We went to fuck, what wasn't it? Jess, what was the name of the town we stayed in? Maybe it'll come to me. I'm sorry. It's like 40 minutes west. It's like right by Vermont. Like right by the border. But it was like stepping back in time. Like to like 1990s, early 2000s, kind of weird. Like it was there like I said, they had no Wi-Fi. There was one TV in the house, which was like, I didn't go there for the TV, obviously. The only time we really watched it was when I was watching the NBA playoffs. But and then like the phones, there was like a corded phone on the wall. The town was like small. There was no like, it was all mom and pop places basically, which was nice, except for like a Subway and a McDonald's.
Subway doesn't have real bread. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you saw that. There's too much sugar in it, right? For it to be classified as bread.
Yeah.
So what does that make it then? What do you classify it as?
I don't know. Make something else.
Is it just a new thing now? Like
name it. Don't name it.
Don't name it. I don't know.
Don't name it. Sugary bread.
Sugar bread.
Sugar bread.
But then we just like for a little while, like we would go out and we would just drive around because I like doing that. I like getting lost. I like seeing like other places and just it was trippy, man. But it was good. It was a good time. We took our dog with us the whole time, like, and he was a trooper. He did good. So, and we did go to Lake George. We took our dog there. We walked him like by the lake and walked through town, and there was like this car show going on apparently, and it's weird. Like most car shows that I've been to, they like park the cars, they'll pop the hoods, and like you go around, you walk around, and people stand by their cars, and and then there's obviously the really the big one that goes on in New York City at the Javits
Yes.
Javits Center, right? Am I have that
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, Javits
And we've been to that like 2 or 3 times, right?
yeah, like
Years ago though.
yeah, back in like high school type shit.
Yeah, when they like debuted the Hummer.
Yeah, I remember seeing the McLaren and being like, oh.
Yeah. And and like they had like Shaq's Escalade there too, the big red Escalade with the Superman symbol on it. Yeah, you go around and walk around. But this one, they're like parking on like the side of the road, and they're driving up and down like this main strip. And at first we're like, what is going on? There's like, we're seeing like a bunch of older classic muscle cars. And then finally Jess looked it up, and it's like this car show. But what they do is they like drive up and down this main strip of Lake George. So then like we're in her I'm saying like a lot, so I apologize about that if it's annoying. We're driving up and down, and we have a Kia Optima, so I'm like, beep beep, it's a 2012 baby, that's right.
Just making a real scene.
She's like, you're an yeah. She's like, you're a jackass.
Got the fucking bumper hanging down.
Well, it was her car, not my car.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and Jeremy fixed my bumper, by the way.
Good. Shout out Jeremy.
He's
fixing everything. He took out my my fog light when it was fucked too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Saved you some money there.
Well, no. I mean, like it was hanging and broken, and he like disconnected it for me.
Oh yeah.
I still had to get a new one, but yeah.
Nice. So you went on a trip too, right? You were telling us about in the last podcast. You went out to LA.
Yeah, so I was actually on children's programming. Shout out them. We kind of spoke about the trip to LA.
Go, everyone, if you can. We were guests on another podcast. Actually, episode 3 we had on. Our guest was 3, right? Yeah, because 2 is Travis. 3 was Matt Dixon, who also he's making a documentary. Go listen to episode 3. We'll talk about, check that out if you haven't listened to it. But he also has his own podcast with Nick Parody. Shout out Nick. Yes. We were guests on their podcast. It's called Children's Programming. We've promoted it on our Instagrams. Go check that out. It was a good time. It was a good listen.
Yeah, shout out them. 2 good guys doing good in the podcasting game and just film and everything else. So they're definitely going to do big things. So yeah, I went out to LA, shooting some interviews for a documentary we're working on. I'll keep it under wraps until it's totally like full-fledged. But for now, yeah. So we went out there, definitely, I mean, you have a lot of nerves when everything's going on. But going out there, the way it worked was on the first flight, we had like an empty seat in the middle, which was from New York to Houston. And then we also the fact that we flew Spirit, I was just waiting for them to like just kick us off the airplane, just like, go over Houston and just let open the there
you go, guys.
The plane roll, baby. Just yeah, exactly. And then from Houston to LA was the shit show of just crammed plane. So basically we just were sitting next to each other, which was good. But when we got to LA, it was basically just like figuring out when the interviews were going to be. And then in the meantime, we just kind of hung out in our Airbnb too and ate a lot. So we didn't really have a car.
Strange. You ate a lot. It's
yeah,
weird.
we didn't have a car, so it was like kind of just going about the neighborhood. And then it was also kind of like being on call.
So it was fucking like randos just walking around eating everything.
We didn't want to like be too far away in case we needed to shoot something. So we were like editing a lot and catching up on some stuff, and then also just the tacos out there are just phenomenal.
What's I've heard the Mexican food in California is crazy. Like it's really, really good for obvious reasons.
Oh my god, they just have taco trucks and it's just like you want to hit them all. But there was also
love Mexican
like
food.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It was a spot like I want to say like a half mile away from the Airbnb that we would just walk to. And it was basically, it's called Met Her at a Bar. And
That's the name of the place? Met her
yeah,
at a bar?
met her at a bar. So
Okay.
shout out to them. They have phenomenal food. We were going there every morning for breakfast, and I had the huevos rancheros, and it was just
Love those.
god, oh my god. It was a different take on it for me because usually it's like, how do you usually have it?
The one place that we used to go to, we used to go to Fetch. I used to like their huevos
Okay.
rancheros, but it was like 2 eggs over easy, corn tortillas, a little bit of like sour cream drizzled on there.
Was it like it was soft shells or was it
Yeah,
hard shell?
no, it was soft shells. Yeah.
See, these were hard shell, and they like layered it in between. Like each shell was like the beans and like cheese and like
Oh,
it was
really?
just it was just really good.
I'd say that sounds delicious.
And then it had the everything else on top, like the eggs and the sauce,
Right, right.
and it was just, oh my god, so phenomenal. And then I had the chicken and waffles one day, and that was just
I saw that picture you put up. That looked good.
oh my god, I'm having dreams of those, and just it kind of like taints you for when you come back and you're like, oh, let me just have regular tacos now. But yeah, I mean, definitely want to go back out there and kind of do a little bit more traveling next time. And then we also went when there was like more of the fires.
Yeah.
So
You said you could see a haze, right?
yeah, so some of the photos I posted were just like in the morning when the sun's rising, and usually like on a clear day, you look at the sun and you're getting like blinded kind of thing, and like you don't see it. But with the haze, it kind of dilutes the sun so you can still look at it, and like that's why you just in those photos. I mean, I kind of brought up the contrast or the color a little bit, but those photos were pretty much like orange and shit. Like you just looking out the window or looking at the sky, and it's just like orange. It's like overcast, but if we just turned it fucking sepia.
Right, yeah. No, yeah, that's crazy out there.
There was just one time when I went to meet a friend, and like as I got closer to meeting him, it was like literally like stronger in the air, like you could kind of like taste the ashiness. And then also going to like the street we were on, I guess they like suspend alternate side parking. So there was cars there that have probably been there for a while, and you could see like the ash on them, like the layer of ash.
The soot, has just
the soot.
fallen
So for
down
people
and
who-
settled on the car, yeah.
Yeah, for the people who haven't moved in a while, and you're like,
Yeah.
damn, like this is some crazy shit.
Yeah, no, that's but that's now you have like a first-hand experience about that. So like, I don't know, when you go and if you talk to your kid or your grandkid or whoever the hell you talk to, you'd be like, no, like those fires were a real thing. Like I saw that out there, like this is not, we have first-hand experience of this shit, it's crazy.
Yeah, 2020 in the future is going to be a huge fucking book. It's going to be its own textbook.
I was going to make a bad analogy, and I think it is a bad analogy, but just in the sense of like, sorry, excuse me, we talk about the people who went through like World War II, and obviously like I'm not comparing the two and saying that this is equal to that, but you talk to them in the sense of like, no, like they saw some shit, like it was crazy. It was a crazy time. I feel like they're going to be like, oh, you lived through 2020. And it's like, yeah, I don't talk about that. I took that away in a dark, dark place.
Yeah, I think the weird comparison though is like that you're kind of like you're listening to the radio and like if you had a TV, well, probably not World War II, probably not, right? No.
I think around that.
Yeah.
I forget when
So
the TV
just-
was invented, but if it was invented, it wasn't like a household item yet.
No, yeah, it was like the more of the rich, but like you have like the newspaper and like the radio. So
Yeah.
maybe you're not listening to like constant updates or checking your phone every 2 seconds and seeing, oh shit, something new happens. Like
Yeah,
Twitter, you could just see all the trending things. So it's like you're waiting till the next day to like get some update. And that's got to be like a weird feeling because you're like, I don't know, you're like almost in limbo. I don't know if it's like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, but you have to talk to people who have kind of experienced it and going through. But yeah, I mean, this year has just been one thing. Everything that happened in the beginning of the year obviously just feels like it was like 10 years ago.
It does.
Like,
you know, Kobe, Tiger King.
Yeah.
I forget what else happened in the beginning of the year.
That was actually really funny this morning with that tweet. I tweeted about how I felt like Tiger King was like 6 years ago. And being that Steve is usually a troll with my tweets, he usually comments some bullshit on my... And I thought he made a fake account. It was somebody with the photo of
Carol
Baskin and like some other dude.
Killed her husband.
And he's just been replying to anybody that comments on Tiger King, being like a long time ago. And then he just like literally quoted my tweet and said 6 years. And then I woke up at like 5 a.m. I was like, damn, Steve, fuck you.
You've been busy all night, huh?
Right? You made a fake account. You did that.
Yeah, he's like, he sends me a picture. He's like, is this you? And I'm like, I'm just waking up. I'm like, the fuck? What? No.
It was funny because like,
but now I have an idea of what to do.
Right? We spoke about like just doing that where you like somebody has a tweet and then they take something from that tweet and make it into like the profile picture, and then just like the name is like what reference to the tweet. And I was just like, damn, he took a lot of effort into this. And then I looked through it and I was like, I don't think this is him, because he actually has followers and he put a lot of time and effort. And I was like, I don't think he did this just because of my one tweet.
That guy's got more followers than me. Shout out him.
Shout out him. It's funny
though. Yeah. So you so also, do you want to talk about the mail?
Yeah. So I mean, like, I feel like this week has been just weird in a lot of different aspects. And like I had some just like bullshit mail that I got, and kind of was like, all right, that's nice. Got some letters that like I didn't want to fucking get. And then there was one bright spot. So there's a I don't know if you can call her a celebrity, but she's a dope artist,
she's
singer,
an
influencer, singer, dancer. She does dope doodles and stuff, and like really symmetrical and things. Amy Marie. And I've been following her for a while, and she's just like a really positive person. So
she blew up on Vine.
Yeah.
So that's where she really, I think, got her like her internet stardom and famedom or influence. Yeah.
So she's a cool person.
She comes across, if you follow her, as like a very cool, genuine, nice person.
Yeah. So she had tweeted out a while ago about like helping out the USPS by sending her mail. So you'd have to like obviously buy stamps, or if you have postage stamps already, postage. So yeah. And she was going to like reply to everybody. So I mean, if you have a lot of followers and you're doing that, that's a lot of mail to be sending back. So obviously that's going to help out in some way. And I mean, hopefully the people actually took advantage of it. So I decided to still hone my craft of like doing the Illustrator and learning how to draw people. So I like drew her and sent that with the mail that I sent her. And then this week I got back like a piece of mail, so that was cool. And like the one thing that like was cool about it, besides like she has a whole paragraph, but it was like the one thing I'll read was, I love the name of it, and this is in regards to the podcast, because I was like, yeah, if you ever want to be on, just like let us know, type of thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I love the name of it, and well, we probably all have a lot on our minds right now, so it's awesome you're channeling that into a creative outlet and a source for people to turn to for an escape. So I thought that was pretty cool to respond to that for that. So it definitely took the negative mail and kind of like made up for that.
Right.
But obviously, yeah, I mean, hopefully one day can have her on, because it's always good to have positive people, especially like right now in 2020.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a video clip of this and tag her in. If you ever listen to it, we'd be more than happy to have you on.
Absolutely. And also,
that's dope though that you got something back.
I'll add the Illustrator thing to the.
It makes me I'm gonna get a PO box for the podcast,
just so people can send us stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shout it out, and I'm gonna put it like in like the Instagram. We'll put it in the description of the podcast, in the bio, and just tell us to send us hate mail. Just send us anything you want. Have you ever had anything crazy mailed to you?
Oh, it's funny you should ask that because I think you already know the answer to this. And
I send you mail a lot.
every time I get a mail from this fucking guy, it is literally the dumbest shit. So
We talked about this, didn't we?
A
couple weeks ago? I think we did, yeah.
Was it actually on this?
Yeah,
Okay,
because
well,
you still have the fucking Post-it note I mailed you.
yeah, okay. So we're gonna comment on it again because people just need to know that I've been mailed by him a middle finger, a printed out finger, nothing else, just a middle finger.
Yep.
A Post-it note that said "fuck you,"
Yep.
and the most recent was a bag of dicks.
Yep.
So
All
I
me.
guess you
All
can
sent
go
by
on.
me.
I guess you can go on whatever website that is and order a bag of gummy dicks to somebody that you want.
There's two of them that send them. If you just Google bag of dicks or like mail a bag of dicks, they both pop up.
I feel like that could also return a very bad Google image search. So, or even
You
just
can send them
web
anonymously.
search.
You could send them anonymously too, to somebody. So like if you know like your boss's address, you could send an anonymous bag of dicks to him.
Well, that's good.
But I wanted you to know that I sent them.
See, I didn't know at first. I had like 3 or 4 people in mind, but I was like, you're definitely at the top, you know, with the shit that you've sent me. So
Yeah.
all the other people who I like had like who I thought it might be were like they haven't really sent me mail. So I was like, it's definitely Steve.
I'm old school. I like to send some mail.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and this and you're also helping the USPS, so it all comes full
right?
circle.
There we go. That's what I'm doing. I'm just supporting. So yeah, I'm gonna look into getting us a PO box, and then we can do mail time, and then you can mail us in anything you want.
Nice, that'd be cool. And then like we can, if you have any suggestions on what we could do better, any people that you'd like to think would be like good to have on, or just any like questions or anything, we could definitely do some Blues Clues mail time.
Yeah, yeah. Jesus. Yeah. Good Lord. I'll tell you what. The one thing that I've done it on my Twitter, kind of publicly, but I don't. And I've our fantasy football league group chat, but man, it is a sad day right now for New York sports. Well, not all New York sports. The Yankees are in the playoffs and they're doing all right, so shout out them.
Yeah, they actually did really well.
Yeah. But just oh my God, the Jets, man, Jesus, they're killing me. Slowly killing me.
I'm in a other, not like a fantasy league, but like a pool kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a suicide pick every week, and my
I'm in one of those for work. Yeah.
So my, but it's only on the games on like on Sunday and Monday. So the last 3 weeks, what I've done was I bet against the Jets, and I've been successful 3 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
is
this
yours
week
like
they're on Thursday, so I can't pick them.
Right. If you pick a team, like let's say you picked in week 2, you picked the 49ers, can you not pick them again?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah, so it's like the same as ours. We include Thursday games though. We can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we didn't. So I'm just literally, if I win this week, next week it's back to whoever's facing the Jets.
Yeah.
That's my game plan.
Who'd you pick this week?
I picked the Ravens.
Oh, okay, all right.
I think that was a sure, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Knicks are in shambles. Well, they were in shambles. I'm kind of optimistic about Tibbs. So
I'm optimistic about Tibbs. I like Tibbs. I like, again, I keep referencing. I actually retweeted something about young Derrick Rose this morning. It was like a MVP year. It was clips and stuff. But like those Tibbs Bulls teams that were going against Miami they were fun to watch, man. They were gritty. They were hard playing. Like I just hope we get that, type of stuff, type of basketball out of it. But the one thing I was like, oh man, like we hired Tibbs, and again, I think Tibbs will be good. I think he'll get us competitive. But I was like, oh, we could have had Doc Rivers. Maybe we could have had a shot at Doc Rivers.
Yeah, but you didn't know back then that they're gonna fucking fall apart. And
hindsight's 2020, and it is what it is.
I like that we got Woodson back.
Yes, that is my favorite part. Mike Woodson. Yes.
But
next step, Carmelo.
The one thing he's staying with. I think he's staying with Portland. he tweeted out he got a home. He found a home, and they were the only one who really like took a chance on him, even though I didn't think that was like really taking a chance. But I think the one thing that I will say is like I was thinking about it, and it's like I was like, damn, they're already like practicing and shit, and like you see like the Warriors and everything, but then you think about it and you're like, it's fucking October. They're gonna have like 2 months off. They're supposed to. Their like earliest date that they wanted to restart the season was like Christmas. So I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But at first I was like, why is everybody practicing?
Right.
It's like the season's still like about to be done in like, I don't know, a week. If it keeps going the way it is, it'll be done by like Tuesday.
I mean, I feel like I mean, it's easy to say, but like if I was a professional athlete, I feel like I would practice year round, you know?
No, yeah, absolutely.
No, I understand there is a difference between like game shape. Like you kind of have to play yourself into shape a little bit because, you know, like with football, basketball, baseball. I mean, all the major sports. Like if you've ever played them like really competitively, like there's just certain things that you don't do, you know, until you're actually playing against competition. You know.
Yeah, and I think it's different between like working out yourself and then having like team practices.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's so far basketball and hockey seem to be the only things that are like doing it correct. Every other sport has had cases.
Yeah, baseball was I don't know where it is now. Now they're in their bubbles, right? Because it's in the playoffs. And
I assume
football is just one set of games has been postponed, and who knows what the Chiefs and Patriots are going to do because now they're testing positive, or at least Cam Newton tested positive. And
yeah, I think all the other Patriots tested negative from what I saw, but just like Tennessee just got ravaged.
Yeah, Jess would tell me they're going to look into seeing if they violated like protocol because of how many people are testing positive over there.
But all you need is like one person to violate protocol. So it's like, do they get in trouble, or does it like because you can't like punish a whole team if somebody brought it in?
How do you figure out who the person was? I mean, maybe there's a way to do it, but I don't know.
I think for the future we'll see. Hopefully everything gets like locked in and people take it more seriously, especially with everything that's going on with the White House too. Hopefully now you can actually like get it under control and at least try to be more conscious of how.
Yeah. And I don't know if this tweet was real. I didn't look into it. I saw it like somebody like reposted it on my Facebook feed, and they were like, it was a tweet. It looks like it says of Cuomo saying like, imagine being the first state that's vaccinated and, you know, being able to be open because we have the vaccine in our state or something to that effect. And the person like reposted it and commented like, well, that means you take the vaccine first, buddy, to make sure there's no problems with it if that's what you're going to preach.
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, like again, I don't know if that's a real tweet if somebody fabricated it. I'm not saying that, but just in that sense too, like when this vaccine, if and when does come along, like how do you, I mean, it's got to be voluntarily, you know, you can't make people take it, you know, but is there going to be side effects from this type of thing? And
the problem is like with these and whatever happens in the future, it's like you want to get it pushed out so quickly so you stop it that you can't really do like a 5-10 year case study like that you would probably need to and see like what happens over the time with these things. Like,
so random thought, you tell me if this is inhumane, if I'm being an asshole.
Okay.
Let's say we can get this whole cloning thing going on, right?
Oh boy.
Let's say you can clone
this
somebody.
This is gonna get dark.
Yeah. You tell me how bad this sounds. So you can clone somebody. So vaccine pops out. I want to see how it would react to me. So I clone myself.
Your clone.
I clone myself, and then I vaccine him, and I see what happens to him. And then if he gets fucked up, you just take him out back like old Yeller and put him down, and then just try it again.
Yeah, we're definitely getting canceled after this. But
like, what if I killed my clone? Is that homicide? Like, I'm killing myself. Is that suicide? I'm killing myself, shooting myself off. If anyone gets the right, you know.
I don't know. I mean, that's like kind of like euthanasia. Like,
is a clone a real person?
I don't know. I like that's like the iRobot thing. Like, if you have a robot that can feel like the emotions and stuff that like is killing it, like murder kind of thing. I have no idea.
Like, I don't know, right? Are we this uncharted territory? Are we playing God? Is this getting into a weird space?
I mean, in a way, I guess you're playing God if you're trying to like. That's like all the things that you see about like them trying to bring back dinosaurs. And I don't know how real those tweets and like articles are, but
I saw this. There's this guy on TikTok I follow. He I don't follow, but like he pops up on my For You page because I guess I liked a couple of his videos.
yeah.
But he's like random shit going on around the world that you're not hearing about. Part 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
And the one was like there was two things that I found that I saw, and I actually want to look into them. I'll be full disclaimer. I have not done my own research, so I am not well informed. That being said, moving forward,
if it's what I
they
think
said that they said that scientists brought back to life a shout out Mike and Ike, an organism or a bacteria or something like that from like thousands of thousands that like predates the dinosaurs, that they brought it back to life. Which I thought it was weird. I'm like, okay, so now you're jump starting the part of the earth that's been dead for millions of years. And then they also said that there's this big cover up that these Russian scientists back in like 2012 or something like that were in Antarctica, and there's this octopus type creature that was living in this ocean or lake or something in Antarctica, and it's highly intelligent, and it killed like 4 scientists, and there's this big cover up going on.
Okay, yeah, I've not seen those. So.
I don't know. Google it. Check it out. I thought it was pretty interesting. I'm gonna check it out once we end this podcast.
Should have checked that out before, so yeah, I could actually came with the right information.
I'm sorry. I came with absolute garbage.
Yes, you are garbage.
You are
kills
garbage.
for money. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weird things going on. I think I saw like there was a thing in Antarctica that like finally, or it was Antarctica or Alaska, but like the snow melted, and there was like permafrost and like cocoon, mummified penguins that like have not been like seen in like 5,000 years or some.
They're mummified in the sense of like.
I guess they got frozen in the fucking tundra. Like.
Oh, okay. No, okay. But when you say mummified, I'm thinking like a legit like an Egyptian, the way they would mummify people.
I didn't.
Where you mean like they're like flash frozen, like they froze so quick that it like preserved everything in their body.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the sense.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things that are happening.
Have you seen the theory that the Mayan calendar was off, and that this like what was the year 2012 was supposed to be the year, right? Where this in the Mayan calendar, this year is 2012. That's why all this shit is happening.
From what I read, it was technically like they didn't account for all the days, or like somehow the Mayan calendar was like if there was like 356 or whatever days in the Mayan calendar, so like all those days that added up ended up being like 8 years. So that's like where all like the 8 years were off. Maybe it was that. I forget exactly what I read, but that was pretty much the case. Like there was a somewhere in the calculations, the timing was off in the calendar, so it was like we lost count of 8 years. So 2012 was technically really 2020, and I mean that would make sense. 2012 kind of went off without like any real problems.
That was supposed to be like the doomsday year, right? That everybody said.
Yeah. But then like any other year that comes out, something else will be like, no, the Mayan calendar was wrong. It was actually this date.
Yeah.
So you only take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
So here we are.
So here we are.
Sorry for taking you down that weird, strange path there.
It's just something. Sometimes we got to get stuff off our minds. Talk about random bullshit. And I mean, this week also, besides like, I don't know, it just feel like it was really weird, and I think it's probably because I was just feeling like pissed. I want to say pissed off, but just Premiere this week for me was just being a real dickhead.
Shout out Adobe.
Adobe was just, I don't know, it's on some bullshit. And like every time I tried to edit, it was like crashing multiple times. So I'd always have to save it. And like I felt like I got like, you ever feel like you're being productive, but you're not being productive? Like you're trying to be productive, but just there's something that's like ruining that for you. So it's like I'd go to try to like edit, and like I'd do a little edit and then it just like freeze. And then I like after a while I'm trying to do it, but I can't. So I like kind of like walk around the house a little bit, or like watch something to just like get my mind off of it, like give it some time, like maybe it needs to like restart, just all these things trying to like figure it out. But like the projects that I was doing just were not working. It was just really frustrating this week.
Yeah, that's how there's times when I go to edit this, and it's not really Premiere's fault. It's more my computer's fault because this thing's like 10 years old now. But just like, let's say I go to like normalize the vocal levels, or I'm taking like a noise out, or something like that. I'll go to like, it's supposed to, like, usually like if you have a fast processing PC, it takes out, happens pretty quickly, where it's like normalize volume to 85% or something like that, and it's like 2 minutes, and I'm like, oh Lord. And then it's not the way I wanted it, so I got to undo it and then change the percentage or the decibel and then do it again. It's another 2 minutes, and I'm like, oh my God, this is getting a little frustrating. Again, that's not Premiere or on Audition's fault. That's my computer's fault. But it's like, this is becoming so much more of a hassle than it has to be.
Yeah, literally just like I'll put it to render, and usually it would take like, I don't know, maybe like a couple minutes. But then when it starts like jumping to like 30 minutes, an hour, and you're like, what the fuck do you do? So you just like go, I don't know, make some food or watch like a TV show or something, or listen to music in the meantime. But it's just this week was just like something else, and it was just really frustrating. Like everything, like I started on my desktop, and it was just like being a bitch, and then I like moved to like my laptop, and it was just like still giving me problems.
It makes me think of back in the day with dial-up internet, when you would download something that was like less than a gigabyte, but it would have like the Windows thing, and it was like from one folder moving to the other folder, and it would say like time remaining 1 year, 6 days, 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
It would give you like that time there.
I've had some of those astronomical numbers when I would go to like there's times when if like Adobe is like really fucked up and it's not working, and you like went to export it, and time would just keep going up. So I think there was like one time where it said like, yeah, like 3 months. And I'm just, all right, click out of this, save it, quit it, and then like bring it back up. And then it's like, once it's like fully like loaded everything and like running correctly, and you go to render it, then it's like 5 minutes. And you're like, the fuck, why couldn't you do that before?
Right, yeah.
Why the fuck are you making me go through these hoops for?
You remember downloading a picture, and it would like download from the top down?
Yeah.
And it would slowly appear in front of you as it was like appearing in real time, the information.
Yeah, it had like a fucking like the bars to just come down, and then if it gets fucked up, it would just like stop midway.
Yeah.
You lose like connection, and it's just like, oh man, I got half a fucking picture here.
Oh man. Yeah.
Good old times. Yeah, we lived through like the internet, the birth of it, like the birth of social media, the birth of all these different things.
Yeah, man.
Like the sizes of
Used
files
to just
going.
Go on to AOL Instant Messenger just to talk to Smarter Child.
Oh my. All right, I'm just going to have to say this because it needs to be said from me and everybody else. I am so sorry, Smarter Child. What we put you through.
I don't know that we said to Smarter Child when we were 10.
I don't know if there was some agent or some person behind Smarter Child just fucking weeping.
Oh my God, the amount of shit that person or file or company has on that is...
That could just ruin the world.
Yeah.
Smarter Child was such just a fucking what's the fucking word I'm looking for?
It was
a punching bag.
A punching bag. Yeah.
It was just a
You would
punching
write
bag.
anything like.
Yeah, the smart child's like, "Hey, how was your day? Fuck you."
I hope
That's
you
not
die.
very nice. That's not very nice.
Yeah. Oh my god, the amount of stuff.
And maybe that's why I'm
amount
like
of
a nice person, because I just took up all my anger on Smart Child.
Maybe, I don't know. There was a couple of them, that, like those automated response things.
Yeah.
Smarter Child, I feel like that was the most popular one.
Yeah, Smarter Child, just everybody knew about Smarter Child.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Oh
take
my
a lot
God.
of people back to like memory lane. And then there was also like a tweet you did about Yik Yak the other like a couple
Bro,
weeks
I
ago.
loved Yik Yak. It was so
Oh my
refreshing.
God. Yik Yak was like kind of like the
It was
same
so
thing,
dope.
only you could just anonymously roast people.
Yeah.
And it was just, there was sometimes when it was just like, God damn,
Yeah.
people are relentless.
I feel like Yik Yak was so cool just because everything being anonymous, it really let people just kind of like
Be
really
dicks.
speak their minds with zero fear of repercussions.
Yeah.
But
That's also why
I think it got taken down because people were doing, because it was anonymous. Like there was like illegal activity that was being done on it. Like I don't know if it was like drug sales or stuff like that, but it had to be taken down because people were, or the cops were trying. I forget, it was something like that, but it had to do with because people would say, I think they were like selling drugs and maybe even worse things on there. But because it was anonymous, you couldn't figure out who the fuck it was.
I think just the fact of like people were committing suicide too, because people were doing like being such.
Is that a real
assholes.
thing? People were doing that? I mean, obviously, I
think-
know people commit suicide. I'm not fucking stupid, but like,
No,
was
I
that
think
like a
I'm pretty sure I saw at least like one person did because of like being
because of the
bullied
comments
from
they
it.
got on Yik Yak?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
yeah.
For the record, I never went on Yik Yak to roast people or to like
Just to like
attack
read.
people anonymously. Like I would just genuinely read because the stuff you would see on there. Sorry, my nose is all stuffy. I gotta take an allergy pill. The stuff you would see on there was not the stuff that you would see on like I said, on like Twitter or any of your other social feeds, because it was genuinely it was anonymous, so people would say stuff that they won't say on their other profiles.
Without the fear. Although I feel like now it's kind of like they won't go as harsh, but I do feel like right now in this time period, people aren't as inclined to like hold in their feeling. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, it snuck up on me there.
Wow, that came out of nowhere. But yeah, I feel like they like. I mean, I go through like the comments every now and then, and I'm just like, yo, how are you saying this?
Right.
Like what? Like what is going on? But yeah, I mean, fucking Yik Yak was no joke.
Yeah.
I remember being on our campus and just reading some shit, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yep. And then we lived through, it was MySpace too, because that was before there was, there was no ads, there was no hashtags. Like it was genuinely like it was the wild, wild west of social media, if you would. And people were coding their individual pages and ranking their friends publicly.
Yeah.
And
that stirred a lot of people to get mad at you if you didn't have them in your top 8.
yeah,
Shout
and
out-
like you had to. I mean, eventually it caught up a little bit. I think in like 2008, you could finally 2008 was the first phone I had that could access the internet. And when I say access the internet, like it's not like you pull up a browser. Like it was awful. And but you had to go on your MySpace. You had to go home, go to your computer, and log on, and then get you had to sit on your computer and manage your space. You know what I mean?
It was a good time.
And now it's a thriving music platform, according to the one former teacher at SUNY Orange.
Shout out Tom. All he wanted to do was just have friends.
Yeah, shout out that guy. Did he? I wonder if he sold that for like a good amount of money. I hope he did.
Hopefully. I mean, I felt like looking back, MySpace was like just before all the bullshit.
Yeah,
He got out at a good time.
I mean, you
think.
still had, if you think back, you still had like influencers. I guess they weren't called that yet, but you had like the people that everyone wanted to be friends with on there. Like everyone said the friend request to like Tila Tequila and shit like that. You remember? Yeah,
Of course, I just didn't remember. Yeah, we definitely did send some random friend requests.
Yeah, there were other ones too.
And I think
and then you'd put her like in your top 8 and be like, yeah, no, I'm friends with her. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, well, check it out. Yeah, that's the time we lived through.
Can't wait for the future. I mean, who knows what's going to be next?
Yeah, I don't know.
But moving on, I know you've got a chance to watch a couple episodes, but what I wanted to speak a little bit about was Ratched, and I think if you don't, let me turn my page because I got some notes. But
lay it on me.
Ratched, oh my god! Like I feel like that type of TV show, like the thriller nature and just being like from the, I think it was the creator of American Horror Story.
It's the same. I was talking with a coworker about this. She said it's the same executive producer.
So
as
the
American
creator,
Horror Story, yeah.
The creator was Evan Romansky, and then it was developed by Ryan Murphy. And then it stars Sarah Paulson from American Horror Story.
Yep.
And then
she's so good too, by the way.
Finn Wittrock was also in American Horror Story, and I feel like those two were some of the characters.
He's the
Edmund Tullison.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So
yeah,
he's like
he's a good actor too, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like those two in the roles that they always like are cast in these ones, they play it so well.
They do, yeah.
And I just feel like Sarah Paulson just gets like doesn't get enough credit because her range is just phenomenal. She's like just what she does in these roles, and they're pretty like complex roles. They're like really like,
yeah, they're not fluff.
No, yeah, exactly. You have to put a lot of like emotion into it, and some of the things that you're doing is like kind of like out there and like the one American Horror Story, she played like two characters that were like twins that were conjoined.
Yeah, I forgot about
like
that.
The head.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You're playing two characters in that one series, and that's insane. Like two different characters. And to me, that's just like a really cool, like that
Concept.
just shows that that just shows how good of an actress she is. And I think in this show, I finished it, so I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like she could definitely win some awards for how she played it.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is supposed to be like the prequel to One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, right?
Yes.
This is supposed to set up basically that movie and give you how it came to be.
Which I kind of, after watching this, I kind of want to watch that again and just see like where
I watched it years ago, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a while, so I kind of like don't remember anything.
That was Jack Nicholson, right?
Yes.
And Danny DeVito was in that too. Like I think a young Danny DeVito.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
I think something else that for me was really cool about the show was the way it's lit. So there are certain scenes where like the lighting will go in and out and it'll just like change colors, and it's just like a really unique way to like kind of change your mood and like bring the character into like a certain space, and it kind of just like really just drives home like does it, for me at least, the anxiety feeling in certain scenes, and like and creates a mood.
So One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's a movie about an insane asylum.
Yes.
It's a movie from 1975. The main character is Randall McMurphy, who's played by Jack Nicholson. And then the antagonist, I guess you would say, is Nurse Ratched, who's played by Louise Fletcher. But now this series is showing you how Nurse Ratched got to this insane asylum, how the backstory to it. And also Danny DeVito was in the movie. His character's name was Martini.
Yeah, I gotta watch it again.
Christopher Lloyd was in it too.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm looking at the cast right now. Yeah. But it's got some serious, and obviously like we said, it's got some serious American Horror Story vibes, but I feel like some of the American Horror Stories, at least for me personally, like started to go off the rails a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
but this would this is so far. I'm 3 episodes in, and it's I like it. I think it's pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, even though like some of them went off the rails, I still feel like there was things that like I could always, just being like in the film world and loving films and loving like certain things, acting, there's always something I can take out of it watching it. But there's also some times where I'm just like, yeah, this is like a little bit too much for me. Like they just started adding like a lot of weird concepts and like aliens and different things. But this one having like a clear conceptual, like, you know where you're going with it kind of thing. And it's it's prequel, so
it's still kind of grounded in a base reality.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's not these things that are, and not to knock them, they're cool, but it's sometimes you lose part of the audience when, like you said, you have the aliens. There was another one where it was like the end of the world, like apocalypse or something like that, you know. But this one is still grounded in reality and things that could and have actually happened. Like, not to give spoilers away, but they do a lobotomy on a person, and like I'm sitting there on the couch, and there's in this series there's 1 to 2 every episode, like what the fuck moments in every episode.
Yeah,
and they're doing the lobotomy, and I'm like, and I know they actually did these on people, but then I just like I'm sitting there and I'm googling, and I'm like, post lobotomy effects, and there's videos from like the 70s of when they did this to people, and they're real videos of before and after they had a lobotomy. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, like my God. So it's based in that real, like this stuff actually kind of like it happened, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously this is a fictional story, but the things within this fictional story took place to real people.
Yeah, well, what's kind of cool is it's also a time period piece. So it's in that like time period where like all these experimental
procedures
are happening. So you have like somebody who kind of like wants to make a name for themselves, like doing all these far-fetched procedures, trying to like kind of like I feel like it's like an ego thing, and you're like you want to help people, but you also want to make a name for yourself.
Yeah, that's
so it's like, you know what, I'm gonna like look past the fact of like what it's doing to the patients, and I just want to get my name out there.
Yeah, I don't care what happens to them. I care what happens to me.
Yeah, and like you might go into it like thinking like, oh, I want to save people, but at the end of the day, what it seems like is happening is like, I just want to like have that name for myself. And I think just seeing some of the procedures, you're like, yeah, exactly. You're like, what the fuck? Like what?
Yeah.
How is this a thing? Like how?
I know.
But I mean, it's kind of cool to see like them happen in like that, in like the film aspect of it. But then once you take yourself out of that world and you're like, yo, this happened, you're like, damn.
Yep.
It's some fucked up shit.
Our parents and grandparents were fucked up.
Yeah. But I mean,
there's a lot of stuff they want you to forget about that they've done to people.
Yeah, and then it's just like you think about it and it's like, oh, like now we have all the mental health like advancements, and it's like maybe if you just actually spoke to people and like kind of treated them better, like they wouldn't need to be in these institutions to begin with.
What's funny is the one character, they're like, oh, he suffers the one they said a symptom from the one character is that she suffers from lesbian urges or tendencies.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that they classified as mental health, that you're insane. Another person was like unable to focus or like that, and it was like, oh, they have ADHD. So those two people get a lobotomy, which basically fucking scrambles your brain and you're a walking potato. Yeah. You know, like that's what they did to people.
Yeah. It's just wild to think that, like, I mean, and then it's also, you don't have other knowledge back then, but it's still like, do you like think like do you think they were doing the like in their mind, do you think they thought that they were doing the right thing?
No. No, you know what? I bet you some of them genuinely think they did.
Yeah.
But I think there's other people. I don't think the people who like were, like you said, trying to make a name for themselves, like inventing the procedures.
Yeah.
I feel like those people were like, no, I want to be the person who makes the breakthrough. That way now I'm famous in a sense.
Yeah.
But then the people who follow them, who maybe idolize them and like genuinely watch their work, they were like, oh, I think he's a great doctor and I'm going to blindly follow. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people get trapped in that kind of sensationalism and stuff. But, oh,
And
good
just,
Lord.
Yeah, just the fact of idolizing the doctor. It's like, oh man, he's such a genius. And then it's like, if you live till like now, and then they look back on it, they're probably just like, what the fuck did we do?
What the fuck?
But yeah, I mean, just as like a film critic and somebody who loves like watching TV shows, and I think the fact that like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was a movie, and the fact that this was a show was just like a really awesome. I like how they put it into a show so that they can really spread out the story and make the characters into like these real life people, and like the characterization over the course of the show.
I also enjoy. Sorry, not to cut you off. I enjoy that instead of remaking One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, they chose to instead get the backstory to it and add to the story instead of just remaking something again.
Yeah,
and give fresh new content.
Yeah, because I mean, it's really fucking awesome.
Sidebar, like I said, if Danny DeVito was in that movie, there's an episode of It's Always Sunny where Frank gets put into a mental hospital. There's like many references to that movie in that episode.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. So I mean, if this is me, hopefully we didn't give you too many spoilers. I think it was just like one. But if you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend it. If you're queasy with blood, or kind of like you don't like those, like, I wouldn't say it's spooky, it's just more like creepy.
Get over it and watch it.
Get over and watch it. Or it might not be the right thing for you. But like if you're into that kind of thing, I would say go for it. Go watch it, binge it. I think I finished it in like 2 days. And that was kind of like what leveled me off from being pissed off at Adobe Premiere. Because I would go to do something and I was like, oh, this is not working. All right, let me go watch an episode and come back in like an hour.
There you go. There we go. Attaboy.
Yes.
So, all right, we're about an hour. I'm going to call it.
Yeah, I got to go eat lunch because I'm a fatty.
Yeah, buddy.
Fatty
What's on the menu?
Whatever's in my fridge. I don't know. Chicken. Some chicken.
I gotta see. I just pulled out some wings. Hopefully they're thawed out by like the 4 or 5 o'clock so I can make some wings for some football.
Nice.
We'll see though.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Got a Lot on Our Minds. Just want to point out that I hope one day Snapple will sponsor us, because every time I'm on this podcast, I'm drinking a
What's your Snapple fact?
Snapple green tea.
What's your
My Snapple fact is about 1 in every 2,000 babies is born with teeth. So the more you know.
Are all Snapple facts true? No, they're not, right? Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought there was something about that where it's like one of the Snapple facts was like, yeah, not all these Snapple facts are facts.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah,
tune in next week.
It.
See if Goku lands the Spirit Bomb. We'll find out what Chris has for lunch. How far has COVID spread across the NFL? Tune in next week on Dragon Ball Z.
Are the Knicks still relevant?
No.
But shout out everybody who's listened, who's downloaded the podcast on Spotify or Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts. Sorry, cut that out. Believe it. Shout out all our guests, and hopefully you keep rocking with us.
Yes, next episode is episode 10, so we should have a very good guest, I hope.
Great guest.
Great guest.
Shout out, double digits, sweet, nice.
Yeah, we're getting there, baby. Yeah, that's it. All right, goodbye.
That's a real sweet fucking send off, bud.